After going through 2 dates each, the 4 singles finally have the chance to mingle. Together with Violet Lim, who recently launched the dating review site Club Uno, we get their opinions on the dating scene here. Okay guys, so why do you think there's this trend where there are more locals dating foreigners nowadays? So maybe I'll start with Violet itself.
Why are there more locals dating foreigners nowadays? I think it's due to the fact that there are more and more foreigners that's working in Singapore, and Singapore being a very cosmopolitan city. And I think after a while, it's not so much about like the nationality or the race. It's really about like getting along, like compatibility. And I think that's the reason like more locals are dating foreigners nowadays.
Right. Okay. And do you feel like our fellow Singaporeans? Do you feel this is true?
Yes, I would agree to a certain extent. I guess there are more opportunities, and Singaporeans are also more widely traveled recently. So with friends working overseas or studying overseas, they have opportunities to meet people of different nationalities.
Same, and I also think that it's becoming more and more acceptable in our society today. I mean, nobody blinks or nobody bats an eyelid when they see, people of different races dating. I mean, it's quite acceptable in our culture. Even though, we are Asian, but I think more and more, it's sort of like become a norm, That's why.
Okay. So for Will and Julia, actually, do you feel that this is it a bit different here than back in your country? In terms of like, there are more mixed relationships here than back in your country? Is this true?
I don't think there's especially more mixed relationships here. Back to your previous question, I think also a lot of people who work here, like from the West, tend to be young single or young men as opposed to women. So I think there's probably like a natural bias in that way that you're going to get Western men with local women because there's more Western men than Western women here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I think that probably explains some of it. But I don't think there's any larger ratio of mixed relationships here than there is back in the UK, especially. So I'm not that surprised, and I don't find it different or unacceptable. I think it's for me it's just normal.
Well, I think it's the same because Singapore is very international, and a lot of people actually come here, work, and maybe they settle down here. And back to my country, it's not really like other people's. It's pretty much. First of all, we don't have many of different nations in one country, but in Singapore it's very different. So I think probably that's the reason.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying back in Taiwan there aren't that many relationships of different nationalities?
No, but I think recent year is getting increased. But I think generally it's still not as popular as in Singapore.
How are singles finding their partners nowadays? In your own opinion, where?
I think if you were to ask any singer and ask them, what is their most preferred way to meet people, they will tell you like it will be through introduction by friends or by colleagues or even like family members. But I think the only problem is like as singers grow older, like you feel that your social circle keeps shrinking, and like maybe the people that your friends or like your colleagues can introduce to you like will keep shrinking as well, or you have like just about met all of them. So I think now singers are getting more open and like receptive to the idea of using like a third party, like maybe a dating service or a dating agency. So we are seeing more and more singers who are coming to us, and they are really your typical like normal singer, like not that they cannot find someone on their own. They are attractive, they are eligible, but like just what our singers have shared today, they are just very busy and like just do not have the right opportunity and time to meet other like-minded singers.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. For yourself, Will?
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, when you're younger, it's almost like the way you meet girls is when you on a night out, when you're out clubbing or in a bar or something. But that seems to be less and less the case now. It's more, like Violet said, through like friends you're introduced, maybe not intentionally as like a potential boyfriend, girlfriend, but just you meet new people through friends in like a less, really social situation, just when you're at a barbecue, not on a night out, something like that. And it seems to be more likely that you're going to meet a boyfriend or like someone you have a relationship with in that sort of scenario than any other way, I think. But yeah, it's a bit worrying that if your social circle's getting smaller as you're getting older, the chances of that happening diminish with every year. It's a bit worrying. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I agree what Will just said. Yeah, it's like when you are study or when you are still in a school, you have a lot of chance to meet new people. But once you start working, right, and actually your social life becomes smaller and smaller. And it's exactly what Violet just said. It's exactly the same. Like, it's exactly what it happens now.
While there are an increasing number of singles of different nationalities getting together, it still boils down to the individual. The country you're from does play a part in who you are, but as we have seen, the laws of attraction are rarely confined to just one factor.